This is a freedom of speech issue. A former firefighter called Robert Moss, who's going to join us in just a second, basically seems to have been, well, he'll tell us the details, but it seems to have been laid off on the grounds of capability. I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, he used to talk to other firefighters, other members of the public on Facebook about his predicament and was subsequently, due to this, arrested on suspicion of malicious communications. The special bail hearing at Newcastle Underline Magistrates Court overturned the gagging clause amid fears that police officers were acting or behaving as if they lived in a police state. You could be forgiven for believing the same the more you hear about what goes on in this country. Keir Starmer, we've had free speech here for a long time and we're very proud of that, says the man who sends people to prison for writing hurty words on Facebook and Twitter and social media. That isn't freedom of speech, Starmer. Come on. Well, let's speak to someone who's got lots to say about freedom of speech, I would imagine. He is former firefighter Robert Moss. Thanks for joining us, Robert.
Hello, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, tell us how you came to You were part of Staffordshire's Fire and Rescue Service for 28 years, and you were sacked in 2021 after you became the Fire Brigades Union secretary, and 2 years later an employment tribunal found the service had unfairly dismissed you on the grounds of your capability. So in other words, you were found to be perfectly able to do your job. Why did they get rid of you, Robert, do you think?
Well, my personal belief is that it was political. However, I must state the employment tribunal did not agree with that part of my argument, but I remain convinced it was political.
When you say political, what, because you were seen as some sort of agitator because you were the union representative, or what?
Absolutely, Kevin, yes. I represented members to the best of my ability, and I was very robust.
Okay. Anyway, so they try to sack you, and you start talking to other firefighters and friends on Facebook about your predicament, and then you suddenly find yourself arrested on the grounds of suspicion of indulging in malicious communications. What did they say your malicious communications exactly were, Robert?
Well, for a start, Kevin, they conflated the output of an online journalist called Andy Wong with my own output. So I'll just park that to one side. I told the police in an interview I am not Andy Wong, but my own postings were very limited and, you know, just basically making criticism of the Fire and Rescue Service and not necessarily anything to do with my dismissal. Indeed, the Facebook page I'm a member of, and it's a private Facebook page, I've been on there for 10 years guiding firefighters in regard to their pensions.
And it was July, 7 a.m. They raided your place, seized 2 telephones, an iPad and a computer, making you feel like a criminal. So they came to your house at 7 a.m. saying, right, you're nicked, malicious communications. You must have gone, what malicious communications?
Well, in all honesty, as I've done absolutely nothing else in life that could have the police at my door, I did immediately have a suspicion that this would have arisen due to a complaint by the fire service. That was the only logical reason why the police could even be at my door. But yes, it was a dawn raid.
Dawn raid. And once again, try to explain what it is. I mean, are you off the hook now? Is this case completely closed?
So not at all. The police still have my devices. This is 6 weeks on from that, what I consider to be unlawful arrest. I've had to go out and buy a new laptop so I may even conduct this interview, and a new mobile phone. At no point have I been charged, and that remains the case to this day.
And Newcastle-under-Lyme Magistrates Court, to their credit, overturned what comes across as a gagging clause, apparently saying that that we didn't live in a police state, which is true just about. You must be feeling that we do live in a police state, that you weren't allowed to talk about your time as a fire officer, as a firefighter for Staffordshire, and you weren't allowed to talk about, you know, the details of your dismissal, of your case. I mean, just you are allowed to talk about this stuff. So are you charged with breaking the malicious communications law, or are you still waiting for any sort of outcome?
Yeah, so I'm facing currently no charge. I am not charged. It does feel like an abuse of power of the state. My barrister, Thomas Beardsworth, was the person who described it all as Orwellian, and I tend to agree.
Mm-hmm. So you're waiting to find out whether they're going to charge you with breaking the malicious communications law. You're waiting for that, is that right?
I am waiting, Kevin, yes.
And you having been arrested back in July, so was it six weeks ago or something, you must be, or your barrister must be putting pressure on the police. You come on, if you're going to charge. If not, drop the case, right?
I believe that's the next stage, Kevin, yes.
Well, just tell me how you this past 6 weeks, a man of previous good character, how this has made you feel.
It's been very mentally challenging, because to be put through the ordeal of being arrested at dawn, taken to the police custody suite, photographed for the first time, fingerprints taken, DNA taken, thrown in a cell for 6 hours awaiting the arrival of the duty solicitor, I do feel criminalised by the process.
Just for talking about your former employee, your employers, just for that on Facebook?
Apparently so, Kevin, yes.
Well, you are perfectly entitled to do that, Robert, and this does sound like a police state. Well, listen, well, look, best of luck. We'll keep in touch with you, and I hope justice prevails and they just drop this nonsense, but it is quite sinister, and I wish you well. Good to talk to you, Robert. Robert Moss there, former firefighter. What do you make of that?